Today we're taking a trip down memory lane and revisiting a childhood classic, Cars. That's right, the 2006 movie with Lightning McQueen. It's one of those movies where people saw that Pixar's doing a movie about living cars and the reaction was more like,
serious?
But little did we know back then that this was only the start of a huge franchise to come. But the question is, does Cars still hold up in the year 2024, and how does the experience change watching it as an adult versus as a kid? Buckle up, gearheads, because we're about to find out. Let's face it, the animation in Cars isn't quite cutting edge anymore. But as always, that fact doesn't hold Pixar movies back from being enjoyable in 2024. There's a certain charm to the world of Radiator Springs, with its quirky car characters and classic American vibes. Plus, the story itself, a hotshot racer learning the value of community, is timeless. McQueen, although he's our main character, is so cocky at the beginning that it's almost nice to see him get humbled. He goes from being a one-man show to appreciating that everybody can bring value, and that a team is more than the sum of its parts. Actually treating other people with respect and having friends brings joy to them and also benefits oneself. He also learns that looks can be deceiving, with Mater being basically the best backwards driver and Guido doing the best pit stops. Watching a character go through this growth is still enjoyable in today's time. The characters, while not being hyper-realistic, are very expressive in their emotions, and in combination with great voice actors really come to life. Owen Wilson voicing Lightning McQueen has since then aged like fine wine.
Wow.
And did you know Michael Keaton is in this? He's the voice actor of the antagonist Chick Hicks. Now to my 3 favorite scenes in this movie. First, I think you all saw this coming, it's of course Guido's perfect pit stops.
Pit stop.
That scene was just so good and unexpected, and it was actually essential for McQueen to have a chance at winning the last race. And speaking of last race, my second favorite scene was how Pixar decided to make the last race end. The story and character arc of this movie is quite predictable, but having the king crash, McQueen purposefully stopping before the finish line just to push the king over the line, really throws a curveball at you. And it completes the character arc of McQueen perfectly, while also honoring the legacy of the king.
You just gave up the piston cup. You know then?
This grumpy old race.
Third is just how bluntly and without any remorse McQueen hates on Radiator Springs at the beginning of the movie, or how he likes to call it, hillbilly hell.
Don't leave me here! I'm in hillbilly hell! My IQ's dropping by the second!
It looks awful.
Well, it matches the rest of the town.
I just found that so hilarious, and knowing how he changes throughout the movie makes it so much better. There are some moments that might feel a tad cheesy now, but overall, Cars is a feel-good movie with heart, and hey, sometimes that's exactly what we need. Yes, just like all Pixar movies, Cars has some themes that hit harder when you're an adult. But there are some scenes that do seem very much made for kids, like when McQueen and Mater go on their little tractor adventure. And that's fine. It's just that more often than not, Pixar manages to create scenes or entire movies that on the surface seem like a goofy kids movie, but there's actually so much to unpack that only adults can really understand. In that regard, this movie falls unusually flat in my opinion. The themes of humility and appreciation of simpler times are more relatable as an adult, and I found the world of Cars more intriguing as an adult. In this world, a car is not just a car. There are trucks, vans, even planes. I started asking myself how the world functions and how cars or creatures are born. In this movie, there are also vehicles that are basically an animal, like these bugs, or the cows that McQueen and Mater are goofing around with, and I guess there is a bull.
That's Frank.
The other vehicles in this world also treat these vehicles like animals. So if we also categorize the creatures in this world by intelligence and how they treat each other, then planes, vans, trucks, cars, and race cars are all humans, I guess. But in real life, that would mean that some humans could fly while other humans can't. And does that mean that in this world a plane and a truck could have kids? Or are they not comparable to humans in the sense that they are different species and only the same type of vehicle can have kids with each other? Are vehicles even born, or are they manufactured? And if so, who does the manufacturing?
Oh, Mater, let me get this straight.
Now where was I? The world is more intriguing as an adult for all those reasons. And I could go on and on with these questions, but I think you get the point. The theme of appreciating simpler times hits harder as an adult because as adults we're hustling more than as kids. So McQueen's race life could be compared to our work life where it's all about performance. And McQueen's time in Radiator Springs could be compared to us having a little house on the countryside and working on our own farm. Just simpler times. I also like the theme of humility, but it's so obvious in this movie that it didn't move me as much. I mean, McQueen is so obviously cocky at the beginning, and of course he's gonna go through some experience, some trauma that's gonna make him change. So that was very much surface level for me. I do want to point out one thing that was very different for me watching this movie as an adult, and that's the king. As a kid, I remember finding this character pretty boring. Back then it was all about the
Lightning.
But seeing him now, he's basically the MVP of this movie. He won several Piston Cups and now wants to win his last Piston Cup before he retires. But he's just such a chill and kind guy. Before the final race, he gives McQueen tips on how to become a better racer. He's so nice and thankful to his entire team. And did anybody notice this?
McQueen saved! He's back on the track!
In the last race, when McQueen overtakes him, he's actually kind of smiling. Almost like he wants to win, but is also kind of rooting for the rookie McQueen to be his successor. Man, what an awesome guy. And I can't believe I missed that as a kid. Can anybody of you relate?
You're a winner to me, you old daddy rabbit.
Thanks, dear. Wouldn't be nothing without you.
Overall, I definitely enjoyed watching this movie again in 2024, but I have to admit that nostalgia probably played a part in that. Without the nostalgia, it's still a good movie, but I think there are better Pixar movies to watch in 2024. But as always, that's just my opinion. So now it's time for you to let me know your thoughts or your past experiences with this movie. Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.